Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Co-Living Life. Today, we have a very special guest here to talk to us about co-living in Merida, Mexico. I'm going to let our special guest, Tia Nikki, introduce herself.
Am I here with everybody?
Yes, you are here.
I am. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much to Dr. T for having me on the show today to talk about co living abroad, which is a subject that I think is gaining momentum as time
Mhm.
goes on. So I am Tia Nikki, Tia Nikki in Merida, Mexico. Travel abroad with Tia Nikki. I have had the wonderful opportunity of living here in Merida now for going on 3 years. Within that 3 years, I have been immensely blessed with opportunities that I took advantage of to open up an Airbnb here, start a legitimate business. I'm licensed in Mexico. Also, being the first Black woman to own land in Tel Shock out there on the beach. So things
Okay.
are growing, things are popping here, and I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to share with you all the my journey and also opportunities for co-living and a wonderful existence of not just surviving but living here in Mexico.
Awesome. And listen, we celebrate you in this Women's History Month 2025.
Thank you.
Uh,
You too.
all the
You
first.
too. Doing big things. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good to see you. All
Good to
right,
see
let's
you.
let's let's get going with talking about co-living. Has it been a part of your life? How is it in Merida? How is it perceived? Is it common? Fill us in. Tell us.
All right. Well, for me personally, my story of co-living is exactly what I needed when I needed it. It helped me to expedite my exit, which
Uh-huh.
was my main focus. After making a plan, a decision, and then a plan, of course, budgeting and money matters are always at the forefront no matter where you go. When you're talking about living, co living, solo living, just living in general abroad. So when money matters arise, the wonderful thing is I had a partner. I wasn't out here on my own. I had um, a definitive budget that I was working with, and to have another party to help me reach my goal a little bit more effortlessly um, was wonderful. It's the best thing you can ever do. It can move up a timeline. It can
Mhm.
adjust plans, and it can also make your strategy and goals a little bit bigger than they
Right.
would be if you were, traveling solo dolo.
Yeah. So you have access to um, a more robust set of amenities because you have that added income, that added insight, someone to share the space with.
Exactly. Yeah, I can upgrade, you know. I can get the biggie bag. I can biggie
Right.
size it. You know what
We
I'm
like
saying? I
luxury.
don't I don't have to just get the chica. I can go ahead and, splurge
Grande.
and try and get a little extra amenity, be able to get the pool and, live in the neighborhood I want, desire to live in, and things like that. So it makes it less stressful as
Mhm,
well. I would
mhm.
say the appetite for stress can be quite consuming when traveling or moving abroad. So to have someone, a partner in crime, so to speak, or just a group of people with the same, like mindset, like journey, helps a lot with the stress levels, which
Absolutely. Having
of
that
course you
built-in
need to
community.
know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
Okay. So is co-living common in Merida? I know you're a relocation specialist, so are you getting requests for spaces that accommodate more than one party?
Well, now this is a kind of a double layered question for me because I can speak to both sides, being a citizen of the United States and now being a resident of Mexico, particularly Merida. And I want to speak directly to our people. And I mean this in the most loving and gentlest way. First, Black people or Americans are not conditioned to cohabitate, okay? We are conditioned to seek individualism, and separation is what they do in the States. So it starts with a mindset. I believe co-living is a adjustment in the mindset. Um, because in Mexico, adversely, it's the exact opposite. In the States, learning interdependence will serve you well, and I think that's the foundation. Even in relationships, it's frowned upon having a living with someone, right? So here it is the exact
Mhm.
opposite. In Mexico, it's a way of life.
Exactly.
Um, if you
Mhm.
if you look around, you'll see families, dwelling together, and it's normal to be that way. And I thought about this a lot when you proposed your questions in it, and it hit me hard because it was something that I had to unlearn and relearn,
Mhm.
um, how to
Mhm.
cohabitate, how to respectfully engage in the same space. Even inside my own
Yes.
home with my roommate, it's an adjustment and a
Mhm.
perspective and a perception that I had to change living here in Merida. So, co living is not a thing amongst locals. That's what they already do. So, we could take a page out of their
Yeah.
book,
It's a
right?
cultural phenomenon.
Right, it's culture, right? So it's
Right.
a page
Right.
out of a book that already exists where when you come here, you have to unlearn that separation and individualism type of perspective that's forced upon us because of the environment we live in, and it is not normal because in a functioning society, it's all about
Mhm.
community. It's all about connection. It's all about linking the lines and bridging the gaps. And that's what I
Mhm.
found here in Merida. So this is a fruitful place for people to come here and co-live and coexist in a peaceful environment where it doesn't drain you. It actually feeds
Mm.
that goal or that progress.
Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so in that, how is it, dealing with landlords and finding a space that might not be occupied at the onset by more than one person, but that individual that's initially taking the unit now going out and finding others and bringing them into the household? How does the lease process work around that?
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Twofold again. So in Merida, you have they are quite serious about leasing space or homes,
okay.
apartments. Usually the lease is from a person who owns the property. It's their house, their apartment building. Your lease is directly between you and the property owner. The notary would just be witness and do the paperwork and put the stamp of approval. The second way is with a company, with a property
Okay.
management company. You would
Mhm.
go through the same process as far as going to the notary, or maybe not, because the owner's in the background. So you never get to see the owner. You only work with the
Mhm.
leasing property agents. Now, in
Mhm.
both cases, I have seen negotiations when it comes to a person. Hey, I want to rent your house. I want to do an Airbnb. It's totally between you and the individual who owns the property or who owns the space. I want to do a co-living space. Most
Yes.
people are like, if you got a visitor that who's there over 30 to 60 days, they need to go on the lease.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That is in both cases, majority, or with a property management, they may not allow it at all. I'm renting it to you, you're on the lease, Nobody else is to be there but the people who are on the lease.
Got it.
You will find more negotiation and flexibility working with individuals who own the property because they make the rules and they can say if you can or you cannot. When I first moved here, I lived in a 4 bedroom, and my
Mm,
intention was to do just that, rent out the rooms upstairs, but I didn't because the lease stated that whoever came would have to be on added to the lease, and I wanted
mm-hmm.
to rotate. So
Yes.
that was a dead, subject. I can do it, but I couldn't do it living there. And
Got
that's
it.
what encouraged me to get my own. So now I can do whatever I want to do, right?
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
follow-up question to that. So if the owner is fine with you, being the only person on the lease, but actually bringing in other residents, do you need a business license in Merida to do that? Where you're kind of functioning now as an property manager, lease, you're a property manager essentially, an
So
Airbnb owner.
that for me,
Are you now required to have in
oh
general? So
yes.
if I took a lease in Merida, 4 bedroom house, now the owner says, sure, you can lease out the other 3 bedrooms. Do I need a business license to do that?
No, because you're not the owner of the house. You have an agreement with the owner of the
Ah,
house
okay,
to lease
okay,
out
okay,
or to rent out the rooms. And I'm sure they'll be happy if you take on that responsibility, then they
mhm,
don't have to do it. But like the Airbnb that I bought, there were people
okay,
renting rooms when I bought it. I felt kind of bad for displacing them, but they had to go. But
okay,
the owner of the house did not
mhm,
live there. She he leased those 3 bedrooms. And so those people had to leave when I moved in, or if I
mhm,
would have taken it over and offered them to stay, right? And do what you're talking about. Hey,
mhm,
rent out the other 2 rooms for me. They would come to me for questions, but they would take on that
mhm.
responsibility as a renter. But they don't need a business license. I need a business license, right? The owner
Okay,
has to have a license to rent out or sublet the space.
okay. So no license required. Any tax obligation if I gather the rents myself and just pay the owner? Any tax obligations for that? I'm
You have to,
subletting, but
it,
I'm actually collecting the rent.
yeah. So again, it's individually based. There is no blanket. Mexico isn't run like the United States. It's not. Claudia talks
Mhm.
about it all the time. We are free and sovereign. So everything depends on what you're trying to do with whoever you're trying to do it with. Um, like
Mhm.
for me, I'm licensed. I didn't bring my thing over here, but I got my paperwork from the notary. So I'm inked up, and it gives me the ability to do a number of things, marketing, Airbnb, and all kind of things. So if somebody were to like come to me and like I have an Airbnb and they're like, hey, I want to live in it and rent out, do co-living in the other 2 rooms, and I'll do it. I'll look for the people. You don't have, I need a license, which I have for my property.
Got it.
It's not you, it's
Got
the
it. Got it. Got
property, right?
it. Mhm.
To be able
Mhm.
to
Okay.
occupy multiple tenants or lessees or renters or co-living. It can rotate. So it's the building and the owner of the building that needs this written up in the SAIC that goes to the Economica in Mexico. So I just did all of that. So
Got it.
if you rent a house and that person has that, you're cool. If they don't, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what
Mhm.
from a non-legal standpoint because mine is legal. So I don't know. I'm sure you could come. Cortez. has a unit in Monte Cristo, I think, or Monte Carlo. He rents it's a loft. He rents
Uh-huh.
it from a guy. The guy said, I don't care who live in it as long as you pay me rent every month. But he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
make any money because what he charges for clients, he has to give it to, he's paying rent. So he doesn't own it. He has to give it to the owner because he has to pay rent every month.
Yes.
The only way he can make a profit is if
Mm-hmm.
he owned the property or if he charged more than the rent is. But he can't really do that because it's just a loft, so it's a fine line between too much rent and not enough rent. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
the market is so variably different here that he can only get about 500 bucks for that loft. And or five or
Mm.
600 bucks, and the rent is like 595, I think it is, monthly. So he doesn't make a profit. It's more economical for him to just rent it out yearly or 6 months or just break the lease and go. I know he was talking about that, but he got somebody that wanted it for 6 months. So that's good. You know what I mean? But as long as you
Yeah.
have an agreement with the owner, now I don't know, the owner would have to have the adequate paperwork or work around or work under. That's between you and the owner. I know property management won't
Mm-hmm.
do it because it has to be legally binding. I could do it because I'm legally binding. They're gonna need all that paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
CYA. Yeah.
Awesome. Very informative. That was always
Good.
like a question, in the back
Yeah.
of my mind. So thanks for clearing that up. Yeah.
You're welcome.
What types of so for co-living in Merida, what is the ideal persona? Is it a digital nomad? Is it a retiree? Is it for everyone? Are there spaces that have, because if it's a digital nomad, they're going to have certain internet requirements and maybe quiet space needs for quiet space. So who is it best suited for in Merida?
So I would say, of course, digital nomads is a wonderful place for digital nomads and remote workers. People who need flexible,
Mhm.
community-driven space while working online. For me, Merida has had the best internet, way better than the states. They also have portable internet units that you can have for
Mhm.
backup in case the lights go out, which they frequently do in Merida during the rainy season. It can be 5 minutes,
Mhm.
5 hours, or 5 days, depending on where you live. So it's very important for digital nomads and remote workers to have access to internet. And also, a lot of my clients and friends go to places that have internet, like the hotels. Hotels during the rainy
Mhm.
season is where everybody goes because they always have electricity and air conditioning because they have a generator, a backup generator.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
also remember the portable. Another is retirees. Retirees find it very nice here. It's easy to find long, right, retirees and long-term residents who are here for a while but traveling to different places like Costa Rica, Thailand, and so forth. They tend to
Yeah.
want private homes and not shared spaces, though, for retirees and long-term residents.
Mhm.
They're not really, I haven't found that they've looked for co-living spaces. However, short term, expats and travelers, newcomers come into Merida to test the waters before
Yes.
committing to long-term rentals is the biggest audience. Students, foreign exchange students, another big group,
Hmm.
another huge group, entrepreneurs and creatives, such as myself, those who want to network, share resources, and live affordably while building a business. This is what
Mhm.
Merida allows you to do. Um, and then I
Awesome.
wanted to, yeah, say also, who else? No, that's it. That's the major people: digital nomads, remote workers, short term, expats, travelers, entrepreneurs, and creatives.
Okay. So are there specific neighborhoods that are more prime for co-living in terms of having more walkable spaces or uh, businesses to reach, you know, um, co-working spaces to be near? Um, i- are there particular neighborhoods?
Yeah. Um, because Merida is so heavily family oriented, there's not a lot of spaces where it does exist, but if there are, you will find them in historical Central. Central is very popular with
Oh,
digital nomads and artists because there are a lot of
mm,
different cultural activities, events, locations, and brick and mortars there. You will find a lot of digital nomads, your Zennials, Millennials, Gen Z, and a bit of Gen X in that area is very walkable and it has all the
hmm,
culture that you can possibly imagine because it's downtown, right? It's the beginning of Merida.
hmm.
Also, La Imerida and Santiago are areas with mixed expats and locals. So it's pretty cool there and it's very affordable. The affordability is a lot better than when you get into other historical sections of Central. And the most prominent area is where I live,
Mm,
and north, which is North Merida, which consists of Campestre, Altabrisa, that's where I am, Montebello,
mhm.
Monte Cristo,
Oh,
where I just
yeah.
moved from. I'm in Vista Ilegra right now, and these are more wealthier areas where a lot of the old school foundational locals are. However, it is very modern and has high end co living setups. I think high rises everywhere. When I first got here, I didn't see a lot of
Hmm.
duplex, quadruplex. I'm starting to see that now, where everybody has their own
Oh,
space.
wow.
Also, yeah, also Norte, also consisting of Los Americas, where the Airbnb is, Templeton Norte, and Zitzia
Hmm.
also is
Yes.
like booming major construction. So it's really geared towards people who are looking for social experiences, easy
Hmm.
transportation, access to cafes and co-working spots and a nightlife. So actually in one of the groups, I believe is Brothers and Sisters of Merida on Facebook, they have
Hmm.
a co-working group every week where they meet in a space and they do
Yep.
co-working together. So it is a space that I think is open and very fruitful and growing when it comes to expats. The availability, accessibility, and the existence, that is there, that is
Hmm.
accessible is it is. It is.
Yeah, I think I was there in, well, maybe it was 2023. And I stayed in Alta Brisa. Absolutely loved it because it was so walkable. The mall was there. And then I attended one of those co-living, co-working events in Towers. I think that
Yep.
was yeah. Oh, gorgeous
Yeah.
property, gorgeous.
Yeah. It's
And
beautiful.
we were down in like a co-working space. And yeah, then we got a
Exactly.
tour of the property. One of the sisters there took us on a tour. Two pools, billiards room, theater, salon. I mean,
Nice, right?
just really nice. Yes, gated, guarded. It's really nice.
Yep, really
And then
nice.
this last time I was in Ditsia, like that area. Love being near Las Americas. Really, really enjoyed that. The movie theater and all of the
Yeah,
shops around. So
exactly.
you can get, whatever your vibe, you can find it in Merida. And then
Absolutely,
if you have someone to
absolutely.
share that with, yeah, fun
It
times,
makes
nothing
it
but
all the
fun.
better, right? And
Yeah,
really, it's
absolutely.
it's so affordable that it gives you the opportunity for growth, and it also gives you the opportunity to explore. You know what I mean? To actually get out and explore all these different areas and the Tamazon Nortes and the Cholula and all of these places, to see where maybe you want to go next, because each neighborhood has its own personality.
Mhm. Mhm. Really, really nice. Okay, so what are the typical rental costs for a co-living space? A co-living space is, going to be large enough for at least two people, have some common areas, kind of be laid out enough for people to, have their own space, but then come in for a communal vibe also. So, what's the typical cost for
This is a great question,
something
and I
like that
just want to give a
to
shout out
share
to
and
your.
co-live in?
I'm gonna give them to you. I want to give a shout out to your chat. I see the questions over there; they're very active.
Oh yes,
Um, hey, chat.
yes,
So
very.
let's talk about money. Right, money matters. I
No.
do want to preface what I'm about to say with this important disclaimer. Everything is contingent upon the conversion rate. So this is something that you must keep up with. Since I've been here over the last three
Mhm.
years, I've seen the dollar worth 16 pesos and I've seen it worth almost 21 pesos. What does that mean? That's the difference between your rent being $600 and $500. Okay. So it
Mhm.
fluctuates when you're using the USD, them dollars. Go on Google, put in dollars to pesos, and you can see the conversion rate for the day. And you can put in the amount of money you want to spend, and it'll give you in dollars and pesos what that looks like. So these are costs
Mhm.
based on today in 2025. All right. So co-living spaces are varied too. And remember, they are based on amenities and location. However, they generally range
Yep.
between 400 and 900 USD per month for a private room in a shared space. Okay. Budget co-living rental
Mhm.
costs 4 to 600 months, $400 to $600 per month for shared amenities in a simple setup. Mid-range will get you 6 to 800 USD in a better location, perhaps furnished with utilities included.
Mhm.
High-end co-living is
Yes.
800 to 900 USD a month. This includes luxury amenities, co-working spaces, probably events like the two pools, accessibility, utilities
Mhm.
included. Now, traditional rentals that are like non co living, to give you an idea, would be studios and apartments for 500 to 1200 USD, depending on location and size. And entire houses are between 900 and 2500 USD per month. Okay. So co living spaces, when we talk about what's
Wow.
included, utilities are usually
Mhm.
included. Cleaning, you can get cleaning on your high end. That's what I offer. Wi Fi is included. So all of these are set up to make it attractive for, short term to long term expats who don't want to dealing with setting up all that stuff. It's already there for you. I've lived in 5 different places. Everywhere I've gone, except one, had Wi-Fi, and I was just able to transfer it because I have. And you don't need to be a resident.
Oh.
You don't need to be a resident to get Wi-Fi. You can go to the mall, to Walmart, and the people are standing out front. You sign up, you tell them where you are, they come, they hook it up, you get a bill. All of the bills are in the owner's name, so you're not setting up nothing. You taking over the bill. When it comes in the mail, you go to OXO, you pay it. If you're not paying bills and it comes,
Mhm.
put it on the side, they got it taken care of. Where I am now, all of my
Mhm.
utilities are included. They have Wi-Fi included. I have my own Wi-Fi
Hmm.
that I transfer because I wanted total play, which is fiber optics. However,
Yep.
Regular Telmex came with the apartment, gas and water.
Oh,
My rent is $500. So my roommate and I split it, and that's $250. And we are in a two-bedroom, two-bathroom, furnished, fully furnished. I bought my own mattress. I bought a mattress for about like $200. It's a good mattress. But everything, including pot, including dishes, were here. Microwave here, washroom in the back, hot water. Everything's lovely. The location is amazing. You were talking about Alta Brisa, Dr. T. It's right around the corner from Alta Brisa. We talking about 5 minutes. I'm 2 blocks from the highway, from the periferical. I got about 3 stores around me in walking distance. The Gulf gas station, OXO, 7-Eleven, a pharmacy, and across the street is the restaurant with the briskets and ribs. And next to that is the man with the
stop it.
asado chicken. And all I got to do is walk out my gate,
Stop.
and it's right there. The first place I moved in had
Mm.
a seafood place across the street. I could just walk across the street, and they would deliver it to my door anyway from across the street. They would still bring it. The shrimp platter, they showed up with it. So when you're co-living, you can afford to take advantage of all these beautiful things that not only Mexico but most brown Latin countries offer. Fresh fruit, the market. Y'all can go in. The thing I bought, I heard y'all having an egg crisis. I thought about y'all, Dr. T, the other day. I bought eggs for a dollar and twenty
$10.
nine cents, a whole dozen. I wanted to
Stop.
try to see some, trying to see how I can FedEx some eggs.
Hey, please,
So, you
dry
know what I'm
freeze and
saying?
do something.
Right. So when we talk about co-living, I want to make sure we put emphasis on living. You feel me?
Yeah, heavy
Because
on the living.
that
Heavy.
heavy on the living. You feel me? Because that is exactly what it is. It is co-living. Yes.
Wow, this is awesome. Okay, let's get some of these questions here before
Okay.
we learn about what you have going on over there. So, hi everyone. Hi, Dr. T. Hi, We Don't Retire, We Ascend. Hi, Chanel. Okay, do you have suggestions for finding co-living opportunities in other cities in Mexico?
Yes, I would say
Um,
look at
I would.
what do you say? Like Jalisco is good. Oaxaca.
Mm, okay. Yes.
Oaxaca, you don't have to deal with the heat.
San Miguel.
San Miguel,
Yeah.
big time.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Mitra is in San Miguel. And I've reached out to her I'll to come on as well. But
Yeah.
I'll include her information in the description. What about uh, Puerto Vallarta? Do you have any contacts in PV?
I want to say I have one. I have one
Okay.
chick in PV, one chick in Oaxaca, Jalisco, and Belize.
Oh, the ladies in Chapala. Um,
Yes. What's
yeah,
her name? Yeah. Is I know you're talking about not Lenora. I know you're talking about,
Tanya.
I got her information too. Yeah.
Yeah,
She moved
yeah,
here from Chapala. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll include some of that information in the
Yeah, get some
description.
content.
Yeah. All right, so what's another one? What about duplexes? Yep. She mentioned Tia Nikki mentioned that she's starting to see duplexes and quadruplexes now
Yeah. She said,
around.
hey. Love it.
So, are you defining co-living as two bedroom, one bedroom, two bedroom, two bath, or something else? It could be a mix. It could be two
Yeah.
bedrooms, one bath. There are women who are sharing two bedrooms, one bath, and they have a
We
house
did.
where they come in,
We
to clean
did.
that one bath. Okay, all
Yeah.
right, yeah. So yeah, anything that can support. comfortably more than one person, and the two or more people decide what's comfortable. So co-living is
It's
about
true.
community, comfort, ease. They define what's comfortable. Um, so,
Mhm.
what
But like you said, it's
is it a
something
better
for
deal for?
everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Keeping community at the forefront, keeping uh, mental, emotional wellness at the forefront,
Absolutely.
safety,
Less stress,
yes,
safe.
and ease. Hmm. Is it more cost effective to have a cleaning lady versus having a higher end co living space that includes cleaning? Tia Nikki.
I would say it depends on your need, like if you need somebody to be there every day and kind of, because they do it big in Merida. We got one lady in specifically, she's in high demand now, but she cooks too. She clean and go
Oh,
ahead and cook and leave some prep. Yeah, and charge like $50 and will leave you some food prep in your refrigerator. So it's whatever you want. It's whatever you
mm,
want. If you
mm,
want somebody that's completely hands-on, or if you want somebody to come in at when you want, you call and say, okay, I'm ready for somebody to come clean. My girlfriend has somebody scheduled every Tuesday. I would say look at how
mhm,
cost effective it is. If your rent is like ridiculous just because cleaning is included, when you could just hire somebody for like $25, which is a typical fee.
mhm,
The cleaning people I have, they clean the Airbnb. That's 3 bedrooms, 2 level with the pool and the kitchen and all the stuff for $50. They clean my apartment for 500 pesos. That's $25.
mm,
So I think it's a win-win. I think any way you go, if you like, I don't want to call nobody, it's worth it to have somebody scheduled just to come in. It's included in my rent. Make it happen, Captain. Or I'm private.
mm,
Don't worry about it. I'll call who I need when I need them. And they're
mm,
very easy to find. I know everybody too, so if you need a referral, let me know. But yeah, it's easily accessible. It's Mexico. They very clean here. Very,
mm.
very, very.
Okay. So Chanel says that there isn't a there's no egg crisis in Vietnam, so it's a scam. But Tabangale says send eggs. We need
Eggs.
them
I
now.
love send eggs. Send us some
Listen, I
eggs.
bypassed eggs. Eggs were at the grocery store. So today's Thursday. Uh,
Mhm.
Tuesday, I went to the grocery store. 11.99. I like. I wasn't doing it. Mm-mm. I didn't buy them.
Eleven
I left them.
99.
Yes, ma'am. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'm in Los
ridiculous.
Angeles.
I
Yeah.
saw another question. Somebody asked something. Okay, we answered that. Understand. Oh, the conversion rate, yeah. What's the better deal for rent based on this is it. What's the better deal for the renter? Rent based on pesos or rent based on dollars? It's only pesos. We in Mexico. They don't want your dollars. They be looking at you like
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
go to the
Right.
ATM, you'll get out pesos. There are no American dollars. So that's why it's important to know the rate because as
Yeah.
you
There's
pull it
some
from the
countries,
bank,
unfortunately, right.
right?
It could be
Yeah,
more.
some countries,
Yeah.
what now? They take
There's some
dollars.
countries that are actually charging. They're charging. Yes, and it's against the law. So you have to
Exactly.
know the laws within the the city that you're in and not be taken. Um, yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to do a
Right.
video on how to understand the landlord tenant laws in the location that you're going to, either
And I'm gonna
domestic or
tell you, to be
international.
honest,
Um,
for Mexico, it's just like these people define them. With it being a sovereign country, the government's not in everything. You have to
mhm,
be moral. You have to have integrity. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
police yourself because, like, they are totally not doing it. So you have to be legit. And then whenever you are doing leases, they're negotiable. So if it's something in the lease you don't like, you go ahead and you redline it and you get an immigration attorney to look at any type of contract. You'll never try to do that by yourself.
Okay.
Valeria Ortiz is my
Mm-hmm.
migration lawyer, and Arturo is her assistant. They look at every lease before I sign it. Now, I don't have to do it so much now because I understand the leases. I've been doing it so long with so many people. And I lean
Mm-hmm.
heavily into my real estate agent. And I'll just ask her, and you can redline something and say no. You can leave
Got it.
early and still get your deposit back. I just did it. So
Mm.
the laws that are applicable in the States are totally not applicable here at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People kind of make up their own, I won't say laws within laws. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they know what they can and cannot do, and they base it around that. And as
Mm-hmm.
long as the two people agree, ain't nobody else got nothing to do with it.
Got
It's
it.
very free, very sovereign. It's just between me and you. It's
Mm-hmm.
like going to the doctor. Ain't no nurse. Ain't no nurse. Ain't no waiting room. It don't exist. I
Wow.
can reach out to my doctor on my phone and
Mm.
he'll answer. If I need something, I'll be like, hey, doc, and I don't need him for no medicine. I can just go to the pharmacy myself. He don't have to write me nothing. So I'm telling y'all, it's a deep shift. I see you got some more questions.
What we got? Let me see.
Yeah, don't let them be free range organic
There
and
was a
crop.
question
You
about
see,
wasn't something subletting.
oh yeah, I saw that. Somebody asked if we
Go
have a
ahead.
Costco. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We have Costco, Sam's
Yeah.
Club, all of it. We got everything
Many.
America got. I mean, the United States.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the peso is
The
still
question about
working.
subletting. Subletting
Mhm.
is only subletting only is comes into play when the landlord requires the person to be on a lease. So keyword letting let in there. So there's a lease present.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it
Tianiki was
has
talking
to
about the
be
fact that it's between you and mm-hmm.
exactly.
And if they
It's
don't
not a
require the person to
blanket.
be on the lease, then you're not subletting. You might be doing something called rental arbitrage, but it's not subletting because there's no lease for the person to sign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's between you and the owner. Some owners do not care
Mm-hmm.
as long as you pay the rent. They could care less. You know what I mean? Just as
Yeah.
long as
Yeah.
you pay whatever the rent is, whatever you make is whatever you make. Some other ones want part of the pie. They're like, if you're gonna be renting out space, then I'm gonna raise your rent. You know.
Mm. What's the typical
Chanel said she can't
lease
live without
term?
Costco.
Is it 12?
Chanel said she can't live without Costco.
Especially since they're on our side, because not everyone's on
Right,
our side. They've proven.
right. We limited to a
So we
few
go like,
places, and Costco is here. Believe me. Um, a rental term. So typically, it's a year. However, you can
okay.
find 6 months rentals. Um,
Oh,
and that's what I intend on doing with this space I'm gonna get. 3, 6,
okay.
9 month or 6, 9, 12 or something like that for people who don't want to be locked in to a year rental. Thank you. We don't retire, we
Okay.
rescind. Rescind.
Yeah. All right, let's move
Yeah.
right into you. We're done. Tell us about what you have going on.
Oh, I got a lot going on. I got a lot going
I
on.
know you do.
So I do. I didn't even bring my thing. I knew I should have brought it with me. I had my notary. I'm gonna get it. Don't go nowhere. I'm excited. I'm excited,
Okay.
y'all. I'm excited,
Yeah,
honey.
Tia Nikki's making big moves. We are connected with the right lady.
I gotta get it
Uh,
because I'm excited. Yes, 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 yes. Can we see? Can you see it? I might have to
pull it
take my
back.
what you call it
No, pull
off.
it back.
Ah, there it is. This is my
Yes. Okay.
honorary
What's that?
paperwork. I'm in business. I got to pay taxes to the Mexican government. That's how you know. That's how you know.
All
When you
right.
got to pay Mexico, that's when you're really in business. So I got all my paperwork, the notary is very big in Mexico. If you don't have it notarized, it don't exist.
Mhm.
It's for rent, it's for
Oh,
everything. Everything goes through the notary. So I'm so excited that, and I've been going through the process, but now it's finalized. I'm licensed in Mexico. I'm
awesome.
registered in Mexico. I'm legit. I can sell all the things. I can go out on the corner and set up a booth if I wanted to and do something. So I'm all legit. I'm excited. That just happened yesterday. The completion of that.
Congratulations.
Of course, thank you. Of course, Casa de Tia Nikki. I'm on Airbnb now. Rooms are for rent, and also the whole house is on
Okay.
Airbnb for people who want to come and co-live and visit. I've also finished my webpage for Thank You So Much. We Don't Retire, We Ascend. Also, I build packages. We got brand new packages that
Okay.
are all inclusive. So I have travel packages and relocation packages as well. Now I built it where you can get the house, the travel package, all of it in one. I finished that
Oh,
yesterday for people who want to do that. Because Dr. T and I are cool. If it's some type of group, co-living group, we can work with that and do a package together for you guys to come see. I
absolutely.
am getting bookings in the first week that I put it out. So I would say if you want to come book something, and lock it
All right.
in. And I'm very concerned about you guys in the States, in different other parts of the country. I know California is a country unto itself, but the rest of the United
Right, right.
States, right, y'all could suffer some like setbacks, depending on what
Mm-hmm.
the girl called him the tangerine tyrant does with these borders. So watch that. First black woman owner, Tel Chalk, out in by Progresso Beach. I'm excited about that. There's so much going on. It's amazing. I'm working on my books, Free Yourself from the Matrix and Travel and
Mm,
Inspiration for people who need just an extra push every day to know that we out here. And T,
mm.
I'm all about building community and connection. It's people who ready to go and they just need a reflection of that. And I am that. I am here. I ain't going nowhere. If I got anything to do
Oh,
with it,
that's fun.
you know what I mean? And then also more properties are coming. We got the
Mm.
Airbnb now. I want to be able to provide housing. My ultimate goal is to have a little tiny town
Yes. Count me in. Count me in.
here. Little
Yes.
tiny town for us, out there. Have a little individual tiny homes and we chilling. It's like
Yes.
10 of us and we got a little garden in the community and
That's it.
stuff
Some,
like that. So that's my
yeah.
ultimate goal. Apartment
Oh,
building something. I just want something bigger for us where we can kind of come together and, you know, your neighbor is a little bit easier on language.
mm-hmm.
As far as integrating or immersing yourself into the culture, you get a little break because everybody in your building speaks English.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. So it's in progress, but it has not stopped anybody from coming. If anything, we are rolling. I finally got some transportation for Tia Nikki
Yes.
Brand. So we picking up folks
That's
from
right.
the airport, dropping folks off, getting you around to see the city. Plenty of tours available. Doing big things. T, doing big things.
Absolutely.
Black women, black
Yes.
women.
Okay, we got a question. How are relationships with locals in light of what's happening in the States?
Oh, that's a loaded question. You bringing it? We don't retire. For me, okay. So I've been single for a very long time because I didn't really see any viable options in the States. But here, it's a whole different ball game, baby. These men are beautiful. They restore my hope in mankind. To me, they are epitome of men what men should be and do. They work 6 days a week. They only off on Sundays. They take care of their families. They dedicated. They loyal. Dr. T, no, you go out, you see families together. You don't see a lot of single people,
Hmm.
locals. You see the mama, the daddy, the nephew, all the people, all at one table. So it's a different frame of mind. The very
Yeah.
first night I came here, when I moved here back in 2022, I was sitting at a bench with Cortez, and a Mexican guy walked in front of me, and he looked at me and went, "Huh, Reina." And I was like, "What he call me?"
Queen,
And
right?
Right, Cortez is like, "I know what that mean. I know what that mean, queen." And I was like,
Yeah.
"What? What?" And he kept going. It wasn't like, "Hey, baby, how you doing? Can I get your number?" He just kept flowing and recognized the sister's energy. And I was sold. I was like, this is absolutely the place for me. Um, so I'm not in the
Hmm.
dating scene. However, I have plenty of girlfriends who have found partners, who have gotten married, who are dating, actively dating. But let me tell you something about these Mexican men. They are not about dating. We not dating forever. Two dates and we together. Me and you, we get ready to come on meet my mama.
Oh,
It's rap. It's over. They not like girl, they are not like American men. They are not dating for the sake of dating or dating because there's a
mm,
surplus of women and they want to try all of them. They not doing that. They
mm,
are specifically looking for a partner, and we are not dating for 6, 7 months or
eight
years.
years.
We gonna know in these first couple few dates if it's popping, and if it is, me and you together, we go together. Me and you come meet the family. They serious. So
Wow.
if you're gonna date here, just keep that in mind. If you're gonna go out with them, keep it in mind that this is serious. Okay? Serious. That was a huge
It's going
pivot.
somewhere.
Not relationships in general. Oh, she meant like
Wow.
relationships with other people. I've never felt a sisterhood
Okay.
like here. That's another
Okay.
thing too. I forgot that she was talking about just men. But here the sisterhood is like all of that. It really is. Um,
Yeah.
it's a different level. When I first came here, I met some beautiful women. I was out there, and that's before work got heavy. So I went to all the events.
Hmm.
I was in all the events, all the groups. I was in all the stuff, all the parties. I met a lot of people. And I've never quite
Hmm.
experienced um, what I felt with the women here. I fell in love with them.
Yeah.
It's something I've never
Yeah.
experienced. We hung out by the pool and we talked about our dreams and we talked about our challenges and we talked through them and we sipped mimosas and margaritas and did girly things and went to the beach together. And it was such a closeness that I had not experienced in the States. I was very isolated, very alone. I always talk about all the time I had that one friend and she was shady. She was shady. But I was
God,
like, okay, that's my shady girlfriend. Um,
stop.
so I saw how
Frenemy.
much of a deficit I was in when it came to friends. Just having girlfriends to hang out with, to talk with. And that's what Merida gave me in the deepest of ways. Some of them have moved on to other countries and gone and done other things. And some of them have stayed, and I have one turned into my best friend. And we go and explore, and I want to go see her tonight for the full moon Virgo eclipse tonight
Uh-oh.
and sit in her
Uh-oh.
backyard and look at the blood moon and have a drink or something. So
Yes.
I think because it's such less stress here and you don't have to work yourself to death, that it lives once
Mhm.
again co-living. It gives you an opportunity to actually co-live, to live,
Mhm.
and know you're not alone, because the one thing we all have in common is we've left some place we didn't feel we belong, and we're all here starting brand new. And it don't matter the color, the age, the location, we all have that in common. So you always find this
Yeah.
common thread. Yeah. It's
I
very
remember,
liberating.
so the last time I was there, I think it was November, and I was walking around, I guess that was where the Cinemark is.
Oh,
Um
you in the Copper.
Los
Yeah.
Los Americas.
South
Yeah,
Americas.
just walking
Yeah.
around, saw some ladies, said hello. They were strolling, right? So I'm marching through because I'm looking for the store. So I had made it in the store and back out before they had even made it to the store because I was, in my American pace, right? They were in their Merida stroll. So got out, talked to them, said hello, and then we just started talking. They asked me where I was from, that kind of thing. 2 hours later, 2 hours, end up finding out that they were both your friends. Just
Yep.
kind, talking to me about
Yeah.
their neighborhood, their decision to come there. Just complete strangers, but spent the time, made me feel very welcome, and urging me to give it a shot.
Yep.
Um, Another time, the first time I was there, I was walking around looking at places for rent. I walked to the pharmacy and just decided to turn off on the street because I saw it for rent sign. Um, One of the ladies that lived two doors down from the property saw me, came out, started talking. She spoke English. She had spent some time in California. Asked me what I was looking for, when I needed it, did I need furnished or not. Took my name and number and
Wow.
gave me hers. And when you
Wow.
come back, well, a couple of months before you're ready to come back, give me a call. I know several people, I can connect you. And she knew when I was leaving town. So she actually left me a voicemail to make sure that I made it back to LA.
Wow.
Never met this lady before ever. Yeah. And
Wow.
so Independence Day, both years since then, I reached out to her, just sent her a little message. Just very kind, open,
Yeah.
caring, welcoming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
how
that's
they
rubbed off
are. It's sweet.
on Americans too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different, just their expressions are better. Like their resting face is good. Like,
Yes. Yes.
that's what I like. They're just so nonchalant and not, you know, in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Chanel
Really
asked
nice.
about a gym.
Really nice.
What about access
Oh.
to a gym, co-living space? Now, I don't know about in the co-living space. I actually looked at an apartment the other last week. I'm gonna post some pictures on Instagram and all the places. But I was looking at some pre-sale places that you can get at a cut of the cost. And they were doing construction.
Hmm.
And actually in that building, they had a beautiful one bedroom loft. And when you go up the steps, it's a coffee room, and then you go up the steps, and that's your apartment, and you walk in and go up steps, and it's the loft. It was the oddest build out that I ever saw. And in that same building downstairs was a gym. So a lot of the buildings that are being erected in Tamazon North, they high rises have a gym in it. If it's a house or an apartment, probably not. An apartment, you'll probably get a pool in lieu of a gym, a rec room
Hmm.
in lieu of a gym because it's family oriented. So they would choose a room where a group of people can come in, a kitchen. I've looked at this building 2 or 3 times, and they have a whole cocina. They got a whole kitchen where you can cook, all the stove, everything, refrigerator. So it's a little bit different. But as far as gyms, I mean, LA Fitness is here. Smart Fit is a gym every other block.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Um, all right, so we can't end this without talking about the weather. So, people
Yeah.
tried to warn me about Merida's weather. I'm like, listen, pre 2020, I was going to the Middle East like once or twice a year. So you can't talk to me about heat. Like, I grew up in Savannah. I had some property in New Orleans, so I know heat and
You think you
humidity.
know about it. You think
And,
you know about it.
Merida brings it too. So, how do you cope?
Meredith, by not going in it and suffering. There's a bit of suffering. I mean, it's hot. Um, I've kind of
Right.
adapted though. I've been here for this will be my fourth summer coming up. 3 winters, 4 summers. Um, so I do what the locals do. That's the best way I learn. What do the
Okay.
locals do? First thing is stay out of it, right? Second thing is the electric is pretty high, so they go to the mall and they sit in the air condition or go to the movies or go out. You don't have to spend money to go to the mall. They got plenty of seats. You can just sit there in the hottest time of the day, which is
Mhm.
between 2, 1:30, 2 and 6. When the sun starts going down, it starts to cool off. So during the hotter months, it's the malls are crowded, but there's several malls. So just go to anyone you like. Another thing is managing my air condition. That is probably the biggest thing because CFE is high and just point blank, they are expensive, electric company. And so I've seen people have bills that are 13,000 pesos. That's 600 bucks or more, like 650. And they rent is only
Mhm.
500. So they're paying more for electricity than they paying for rent. They end up paying $1,100. Now keep in mind that utilities are or electricity is on every 2 months, right? So, but still, that's an average
Mhm.
of 300
Mhm.
bucks a month, right? So I do what the locals do. Side fans are huge. These don't work. That just circulate the air. You need direct contact. So a nice steel side fan, not plastic. Another thing is seal up the windows.
Mhm.
So all of my windows have aluminum foil, and then it has the paper blind from Home Depot and a shade.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be dark for a while,
Okay.
but
Wow.
it'll also be cool because where there's darkness, there's coolness, right?
Cool.
And we pretty much shut down the house.
Mhm.
And then another thing you can do is we always sleep at night with the air on. Have it on a regimen from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. That'll keep your costs down on your electric bill.
Mhm.
Drinking a lot of water. This Merida heat is a different kind of heat. It just, you can be sitting there and sweating and you don't even have to be doing nothing. Just sit. You can get in the shower and come
Right.
out and
Your
start
eyes blink.
sweating. However, it ain't never much heat to make me turn around and go back. It ain't never hot enough for me to be, oh my God, I can't take, no, I'm gonna make it. We gonna be all right. Another thing I do is 15-minute
They're
air block. So every 2 hours, I turn on the air for 15 minutes and let the house cool off.
oh.
Stay in one room. You don't need all these doors open. Close close it off. Close my bedroom doors because the living room
Mhm.
can stay hot. Make sure when you rent a place, you get AC in the living room, the bedroom. A lot of places come with no AC in the living room. And so
Mm.
in places like that, when I try to cook, I'm just a puddle, a hot mess. It's horrible. So I'm telling y'all from what I've learned, um, close up everything, make it dark. I know if you're gonna leave, go out early in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning, or late at night, 7 or 8 in the PM. Never go out in the day. Don't ever do it. I had a client that did it, and she was like, I understand why you told me not to do it. She said, I almost died. I said, I know.
Mhm.
And that's what's going to happen. I've done
Yeah.
it. That's why I tell other people not to do it. But it's okay if you do it because you learn for yourself. You're like, okay, now I understand. I get it. You know
It's,
what I mean? Um, wear
mhm.
cotton, everything. All of it's cotton. Don't wear nothing but cotton. Um, Flip flops are your best friend. Keep water, like a lot of water, a lot. And I think having a heavy water diet helps. Your watermelon, you can't. What do they have here? Cantaloupe, honeydew.
Cucumbers. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's a papaya, kiwi?
Mm.
The berries, blackberries, blueberries. All of that helps with the water intake. Hydration is at the top of the list
Mhm.
for the hot times here. But other than that, just stay out of it. That's what I do. Mango, get you some mango. And just stay in when it's hot as hell, which is noon
Mhm.
till about 6. Don't go nowhere. You might think you hot, but you're not hot till you walk out the door and
Yeah.
burst into a flame and you be like, you know what, I'm going back in. Go on in, close it down, turn off your air and let it stay as cool as it can. Keep your fans going and stay hydrated. If you leave, 99% of the places have air conditioning, so you never have to worry about that. Believe me, they got them pumping. They got them pumping. Double. They have two and
Yes.
three air conditioners in the whole in the restaurants and all of that. Merida don't play. But also keep in mind during the rainy season that you have electricity outages, so have your backup.
Mm.
I did a whole video on that, having backup, especially in a cold living space where we got double body heat, right? So if you can find anything that is USB chargeable, like which I have a rechargeable phone. I got the thing,
Mhm.
we call it solar charger. It has like 3 USB. No, there's no water shortage here. They have like the three things where you can USB your phone and charge it. USB, maybe a hand fan. I got a couple of hand fans that'll keep
Mhm.
you cool if the lights go out because it really gets sticky then. Because you don't have any air conditioning,
Yeah.
anything. Make sure you back up all your electricity. And I think this goes for all of the countries or cities along the coastline. Atlanta, I know they talk about on the lives
Absolutely.
how they have a rolling outages, and Texas has rolling outages. So it's no different. We're on the coastline. It's just about preparation, right? Just about preparation. And Merida makes it even more so important because of the heat, you know, because
Yeah.
we coming from America, we used to certain luxuries. We just are. We're not used to certain things here. So adjustment is key. And living in a
Yeah.
co-living,
Mindset.
I think exactly. Everybody needs to kind of have a list of what I do and what you do if we need to do something. You run and get the ice while I charge all the devices,
Mhm.
you know. I also download movies on YouTube,
Mhm.
so I'll have entertainment while the lights are
What about
out. So
hurricanes?
we don't get them. We're in a
Is it
peninsula.
hurricane?
I think it was like last year was 127 of them, and all of them missed us. People were preparing and running to
Mhm.
the store, and the next day, not one drop. It was just like a gentle breeze. I opened the window. I said, "This is wonderful. This is great." It was nothing. Then something else came, and we were like, mm-mm. Nobody did nothing, and nothing came. So Merida misses a lot because we're inland. We're in the peninsula, so we kind of tucked a little bit, and it'll hit Cancun. You know, it'll
Yeah.
jack up Cancun, but it'll miss us. I'm thankful for that. We
Mhm.
had one in the last, what, 100
Absolutely.
years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Good. All right. I'm not
So
seeing any other questions, Miss Nikki.
be
You
good.
have
Everybody got all the
like
answers.
given us the playbook.
I, I hope so. I hope so because it's
Yeah,
so doable,
I think we
and I'm
should.
such an advocate for Black women finding their happiness, their happy place. You are welcome outside of the states because it is there, and a lot of us are
Hmm.
needlessly suffering in the states and in relationships. Ugh. So I'm always an advocate. We don't retire. My mama doing good. Thank you for asking. Thank you.
She's an inspiration in and of herself too. Um, your mom. Yeah.
My turn
All
coming. I
right,
know that's
Tia
right.
Nikki. We thank you for your time.
You're more
Yes.
than welcome,
We
Dr.
thank you for your
T. I'm
time.
happy to have you.
We'll
Have me.
schedule some time to absolutely. We know you're doing big things over there, and we got to support you. So when you get those, you want to finalize some packages and send some information. I'll put them in the group so folks can take advantage. Uh, yeah, support you over there. Appreciate you. Thank you
I
so much
appreciate
for your
you, Dr.
time,
T.
and
Thank
we'll put all the
you.
ways that folks can interact with you in the yeah. All right. Take care. Have a
Okay.
good evening.
Thank you.
See you, everyone in the chat. Thanks for your time too. All right.
Thank you, chat.
Bye bye.